All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest here in the building on the Just Acting Up show. And, he's a familiar face. You may have seen him on, Found. Still hate that show got canceled, but hey, still a great show. Found let's not also forget that he was also on Peacemaker, and we'll talk about that. And it's time to rip it and ribbit. We'll get into that. All that and more. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Brandon Stanley.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know you was in the other movies, but before we, dig into that and talk about, Peacemaker, She-Hulk, and Richard Jewell, which was a very good film by Clint
Yeah.
Eastwood. We'll talk about all that. But let's get to know you first and talk about you. Where are you originally from and what do you love about your hometown?
Oh, okay. So my dad was in the military. So when I was actually born in South Dakota, and I don't even
Mm,
remember South Dakota.
mm,
So that's where I was born, but I was raised in a suburb of Birmingham, Alabama. So that's where I'm from, is Alabama. And I think I'll say two things that like I'm from Hoover, which is the suburb of Birmingham, and Hoover actually had a show on MTV called Two A Days. It was about their football team. It was a high school football team that was really good, and so that was always like Hoover's claim to fame, was that we had that MTV show. But I don't know if anybody's gonna remember that. It is old.
mm.
Um, but I'm a big fan of barbecue, and
Oh,
Alabama, I feel, this will probably start some fights, but I think Alabama has some of the best barbecue. Just, I don't know, nobody really thinks about Alabama, but they've got some really good barbecue out there.
ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
you,
Yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I never hear Alabama being mentioned as like the barbecue place. I hear Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, yeah, even Mississippi before you hear about Alabama.
Hmm.
But I think Alabama's a sleeper when it comes to barbecue. They've got some really good, like, hole in the wall spots,
Mm.
and it's good.
See, you
You
know
have to
what?
name a few. Which ones do you know?
Oh, man. So there was this place, I mean, it was a chain, but it was called Shane's Rib Shack, and it was in Alabama. And I actually applied to work there, and it was the first time I ever got told no. It kind of prepped me for being an actor, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Shane's. There's some other places that I can't quite. I mean, it's been so long that I can't remember the exact name, but they're just like mom and pop. I mean, nobody knows really about them. It's a hole in the wall, but they have some of the best like slow cooked pork and brisket and just like smoked sausage. It's just, yeah.
Mm. See, you know
Okay.
what? We just gonna have to, because we're in Texas, and
Okay.
everybody talk about our barbecue down here too. We just need to
Yeah.
have like a meet and greet or like a contest or something like that. Like just lay them out, bro. Like just
Yeah.
get the ribs, the links, the boot, like everything. Let's lay it out. Let's see, and the sides too. So we gotta have a
Who is
competition.
the best barbecue? Like, get the best. Every state shows up. It's a 50 competition of 50
Yeah,
different states with their own barbecue. I bet everybody would be surprised who
yeah.
would end up winning. Because even Hawaii, they have good, like,
Oh,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? It's their
yeah,
own take on it, but yeah,
Hmm.
barbecue's
yeah,
a big American food.
yeah. It
You're
just bring, it
right.
just
You're right.
yeah,
Is
just
there
brings
some
up.
place where you like, I would never get barbecue there?
Is there a place for me? Uh, I think any like fast food chain barbecue is usually
Mm,
probably not going to be like the best, slow
right,
cooked, highest quality. So
Hmm.
I don't really get barbecue from like fast food joints. I won't say any
right,
names, but there's a
right.
lot in like in Oklahoma. There's a lot of them, and you know, you're better served to just go spend a little bit of extra money to get a bigger portion of like better
Mhm,
barbecue.
right.
Shout out
I
to
agree.
Clark. Shout out to Clark Crew Barbecue in Oklahoma City.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes,
There
sir.
we go. There's a name right there. That's some of the best barbecue I've ever had.
Shout out to Clark Crew.
So, what's what's your origin story? Like before you were acting, what jobs were you doing?
So I was in college in Oklahoma, in Edmond, Oklahoma,
Hmm.
and I was okay. So I guess I mean when I was like 5 years old, I knew that I could act, and I knew that that was something
Mm,
that I wanted to do. But it truly, I mean, I did a little bit of theater, and was good at it. And like like I remember my first time I walked into the class and the teacher was just like, no, we need to get you into the advanced class. We need to get you into these plays and stuff like that. But the thing that always stood in the way was I was also a wrestler.
Mm.
And wrestling was something that I was very, very proud of. I'm a much better actor than I am a wrestler. But even then, uh, it's not that I wanted to do the sports over theater or be like that kind of guy, but I kind of had this understanding of like, I can only wrestle for X amount of time. If I really want to be an
Mm.
actor, I can chase that later on. And so acting was always kind of second place for me behind wrestling. And I went to the University of Central Oklahoma, and I was wrestling there for a couple years. And I was 23 years old, and it just something kind of snapped. I was just like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm getting this business finance degree, and I don't know what the heck I'm doing. You know what I mean? Numbers and all this business and all that. I've never really had that kind of a brain, but that's what I was chasing because it's such a, it's a safe move. Get the business
Right.
degree. It can cover all these different things. I can get a job at some point. But when I was 23, I was just like, what the hell am I doing? I mean,
Yeah.
am I going to be happy doing this? Do I feel like, I'm spiritual and I feel like God
Mm.
places a path for everybody in their hearts. And when you're not on that path, sometimes you're just sad and depressed and you don't even know why. And I was sitting there thinking, and I remember I was talking, and I'm not to make it depressing, but I like called my mom just crying, like, Mom, I don't know what I'm going to do. Wrestling, I got like a year left of wrestling, and then what? I'm not some like star. I'm not going to go be in the UFC or something. But I
Yeah.
knew that something in my heart was telling me that like I'm meant to do something that's going to bring a lot of exposure and influence to other people. But I didn't know what it was. And then my mom just said, "What about acting? Ever since you were like 5 years old, you've always wanted to be an actor." And then the light switched, and I was like, "Oh, you mean I have control over my own life and I can go and chase something even if it seems impossible? Like I can actually, there is a machine in place for actors to jump into that machine. And if you have the talent and things work out, you'll eventually make it." And I had to trust in that machine. And I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm 23. I'm still I'm young. I'm just going to devote the rest of my life to chasing the dream that was placed in my heart a long time ago. And so, yeah, I would say that's my origin story. It's just kind of like a coming to God moment of facing what my true purpose was and understanding that through chasing it, I'll be happy. Not even what I attain from it, but
Right.
just living, knowing that I'm doing what I can and I'm chasing the dream that I have in my heart. And that's that was when I was really like, okay, I will be doing this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I mean
Yeah.
you have fulfillment,
Hmm.
that not only were you doing something that you loved, but you knew exactly what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
that's when you figure it out, like this is what I want to do, it just relieves so much stress off
Yeah.
of a person,
Hmm.
Mm.
you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I'm not going to be who I think other people want me to be. I'm not going to try to
Hmm.
make anybody proud. I'm just going to, I feel so much specificity in my heart of exactly where I should be going. And
Yeah.
once you take that first step, like you said, it's so relieving and there's so much weight lifted off your shoulders because you can at least say, I'm doing everything I can right now.
Yeah.
Which sometimes is just waiting for a call from your agent or trying to get an agent or getting into a workshop, doing a class. Like no matter what, you know that you're kind of moving yourself towards where you want to be. And that feeling right there is so satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that too, man. And and thank you for being, so vulnerable with sharing that as
Yeah.
well too, because that's really
Hmm.
going to help somebody that's trying to figure out like what do I do? Because it's crazy that you mentioned that you do business and study for business and then you were wrestling, which is pretty awesome by the way.
Yeah.
um, but there are people that I run into every day. Like for example, I met somebody at GameStop and they have like this degree in science, but they're like, you know what? Want to work at GameStop because I love games.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
you're doing what you love doing, and that's
Hmm.
really like you said, refreshing and it feels good and the weight off your shoulders, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
Like I would rather be struggling as an actor than being some successful businessman because
Right.
the fulfillment is so much different. Some other guy, his purpose is to go and climb the ranks of the corporate world, you know, and that's what brings him satisfaction. But for me, I've always looked at that like that episode of SpongeBob when his grandma gives him like the pencils and the notepads and stuff and is like, well, you're a grown up, here you go, you know. It's
Yeah.
like I don't want to be that. That's not what I want to be.
Then
Right.
SpongeBob is a great example for everybody to
Yeah.
go back to, man.
Yeah.
I was actually singing that
Yes.
song earlier, man.
Yeah, and so for anybody, so like what I remember is before I had even booked an agent, I already felt so much pride, in a good way, you know, like pride that like I'm an actor. I'm an
Yeah.
actor. When somebody asks me what do you do, I am an actor. I am a professional actor, and that
Yep.
just being able to say those words felt so good. Like I was. Like just that alone could satisfy me for the rest of my life. If I don't book a thing for the rest of my life, I'll be satisfied being able to say, I am an actor.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Proud to say it too. So I want
Hmm.
to ask
Yeah.
you. So I know you done wrestling, and so what
Hmm.
are your other hobbies? Because I mean, did wrestling lead into stunt training? I mean, I see you do golf as well. What's one of your pastimes, or what do you love
Um,
doing besides acting?
so wrestling is like it's a combat sport. And
Yeah.
when you learn it, it's just in your body and it's a language you can speak. And
Hmm.
so I transitioned from wrestling into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And
Mm.
that is something that I really, really enjoy. I haven't been able to do it much lately
Yeah.
because of some injuries and stuff. Because that, unfortunately, that's a part of combat sports.
Right.
But I really enjoy that. I mean, it's just this. It's this feeling of like, especially with jujitsu, you can go kind of hard in practice. Like with boxing and kickboxing, like you got to pull your punches. You don't want to hurt your training partners. But in something like jujitsu, you guys can go kind of hard, and you
Yes.
get to uncover some parts about yourself of like, oh, I really am a fighter. You know what I mean? Someone's got my back and they're trying to choke me out. I'm not just gonna tap. You know, I mean, it's smart to tap, but I'm stubborn and I'm gonna keep
Mm.
trying to fight. And like, it just works that muscle of maybe confidence in situations where you know you're overwhelmed, but you can still have that confidence of knowing that like I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep fighting. And there's this, you know, like when I was in Atlanta, I was doing a little bit of mixed martial arts at American Top Team there, and there was just a moment where me and this guy were kind of scrapping a little bit, like respectfully.
Yeah.
And I remembered thinking in that moment, wow, this is a cool life. This is a cool life that I get to do this right now. And I'm like in this kind of like a battle setting, like almost like they did thousands of years ago. That was almost like a rite of passage. Your son and daughter were going to go and train and learn how to fight and combat. And now it's not as important anymore. We've got new types of self defenses where you don't have to train all that. But there's a little bit of this like primitive thing that I feel when I'm fighting, I guess, you
Yeah.
know, respectfully, not like with
Right.
anger, but with thought and technique and passion
Right.
and art. There's an art
Yes.
to it. Um,
Right.
Yes.
so I really enjoy combat sports. I really enjoy video games. Um, I love video games.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, I play video games more than I watch TV for sure.
Yeah.
Video games, that's my form of entertainment, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
What's your jam? What's one of your few of your
uh,
favorite games?
I mean, the thing that really got me into gaming, I was in college and I played Rocket League for the first time, which is like the
Ah,
car soccer game.
yeah.
And because my roommate was a big gamer, and then he was going out for the night, and he was just like, "Dude, you can play this all you want if you want to keep playing." And then probably about a week later, I had a PlayStation of my own.
He's
I like
hooked.
Call of Duty. You know, I've always played the CODs. Now I got Battlefield 6, but I think the greatest video game that I've ever played in my entire life would be Red Dead Redemption 2. It's
Ooh.
yeah, it's hard to top
Yes.
that. It's hard to top that.
That.
There's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
emotions, the connection that you get to Arthur as you're playing, like as as you start to kind of uncover the truths of what's happening with his group and everything. It's such
Yeah.
a good game and so well written. I would go as far as to
Hmm.
say that Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably the best Western ever written ever. And it's
Yeah.
a video game.
Yeah.
And I'll say that.
That's a classic too. That one
Yeah,
is that's one of the everybody loves Red Dead Redemption. You can turn that
yeah,
on. Yeah, that's yeah.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And then the last thing is I really enjoy cooking. I like to cook.
Nice.
Hmm.
Feeding the
Yeah.
art.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very artistic, and I'm getting a little better at it and trying new
Mhm.
things and risking ruining an entire evening on four
Yeah.
hours of trying to cook a certain meal and then it messes up. That's hard. But
Yeah.
there's like a mental toughness that you gain from cooking of like, okay, I messed up. Who cares? You
Yeah.
know? Well,
I'm a
I can try it again tomorrow. Or if what did I do
Mhm.
wrong and how can I not do it that wrong the next time? So I love
Mhm.
I love cooking.
What's your favorite dish to
Oh
cook?
man. So, I really like making lasagna. Like
Ooh.
Mm.
I there's a cookbook that I like to use a lot and it has this eggplant. It's like a really healthy eggplant lasagna with like spinach and cottage cheese and like it I really like to make lasagna just because of all the different steps. I love making soups, like with starting from scratch. Everything I make, I want to make from scratch. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
if this recipe requires an ingredient, I want to make that ingredient from scratch. Ketchup or mustard or
Mm.
something. Like I want to make every component and then put it all together, just like to feel the satisfaction of knowing that every single bit of what I'm eating was created by me.
That's dope.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's dope.
That is.
Yeah.
That is
And I didn't even really
really
realize that until I just said it out loud. It's like, oh, it's art. I'm wanting to
Yeah.
create it, even if it's not
mhm.
as good as if I went and got like some packaging stuff at the grocery store. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
most of the time, if you make it all yourself, it will taste way better and it's going to be way more
Hmm.
healthy. No matter what you're making, if
Mhm.
you make it yourself, it's just going to be more healthy because there's not the additives and preservatives and all that stuff. So, and that's not why I do it because it's healthy. I do it because I really enjoy it. Like I'll throw some like jazz on. It's really corny. Have a
Oh,
little
No,
wine.
that is
no,
not
that's
corny.
no, it's
Yeah,
not because that's what I do too. That's why I was like,
yeah,
I get
That
like, man, Master Chef in that bad boy, man. I'm sitting
yeah.
there hooking up, listen to my jazz, sip of wine. I'm like, oh man, this is a vibe,
yeah.
bro.
It's
So
like it
yeah,
goes hand in hand. It's like cooking
yeah,
and
Mhm.
jazz. It's like you're chopping the onions and there's like a rhythm to it. You're chopping the peppers. There's a rhythm to it. It's like
yeah.
I really
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yes, sir,
And
man.
we're good to hear.
Yeah,
I love so I just love to listen to music, period, when I'm cooking. And it doesn't matter what type of music, I listen to all different type of music. And like it just helps the time and a little glass of wine. Now you have yourself something.
yeah, yeah. It's almost meditative. Like
Right.
you're dead. You're like I'm gonna lean into this 100%. Like I'm gonna make this a thing.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna spend the next couple hours just like in quiet with
Mhm.
music and just in my own head. It's lovely.
Hmm.
Yes. So Peacemaker just wrapped up his season.
Yes.
And no spoilers for those who haven't watched. But before you talk about your character, can you talk about the audition and like what you like went through to book?
Mhm.
Did doing the intro dance choreography, did that help with the booking? Let us know how did the audition go.
So, before I even say anything, the casting director, his name's Chase Paris.
Mhm.
He was involved with my booking on She-Hulk and a couple of smaller things that led me to She-Hulk. And so, this audition came from him, and I knew it was for a guest star. I didn't know what the show was. It had a hidden name to it because that's how DC and Marvel, they both do it.
Right.
Even the character names are different.
Yeah.
And in the audition, I probably said like maybe 4 lines, and the rest of them was just me listening and reacting. It was a lot of listening, and I can see why now. That was James making sure that the actor is going to be able to be present when they're not saying something. Like, is this actor going to be able to be alive and make the scene come alive by just sometimes by just listening? And people will watch it and then they might know what scene I'm talking about, where
Mm.
I'm just like I'm doing a lot of listening and reacting and kind of annoyed and just like shut up, man, like stop talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so if you know what scene I'm talking about,
I
that
don't.
is the scene that was used for the audition in a way, but it was
Ah.
but it was written a little bit differently. So where like instead of me walking, I was sitting at a desk, like at a conference desk or something. I'm just like, oh my
Mm,
God, dude, shut up. Like just a lot
yeah.
of like listening to this guy kind of getting annoyed, playing it truthfully, but letting the comedy just work itself out. Like I'm not gonna
Right.
try and make it funny. You'll think it's funny just because you see how like pissed off it's making me.
Right. Right.
And so, sometimes with with certain roles, especially with roles like this on like projects this big with a multiple episode guest star, there's like the process of like you send in the tape, you get the call back, maybe you'll get another
Mm,
call back, and then like a fitting / chemistry read or something. But this, I sent it in and then booked it straight from tape, which was, that felt good. It felt
right.
like, oh, okay, so we can save some time there. Because I got a call from my agent, and they were like, hey man, congrats, you just booked Peacemaker, you're going to be working on 6 episodes with James Gunn. And I'm just like, what, where did this come from, who, what, like, I
Yeah.
didn't even know. To be honest, I hadn't even watched Peacemaker because, like I said, I'm a gamer, I don't really
Yeah.
watch a whole lot. But yeah, I booked that. There was no, I don't even think he knew I played Leapfrog. Like, I don't think
Mm,
James, like, I think he just saw me, liked me, booked me.
yeah.
Like, there wasn't this, like,
Mhm.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. We want him over this guy because he can, add a little bit more views because he's from Marvel and all this stuff.
Hmm.
I don't think he even knew.
Yeah.
Um, and so there was nothing that, like, led into helping me with that, like dance experience. I've never danced in my life, ever.
Yeah.
I mean, prom, I danced. And I still remember like thinking in that moment, like, am I doing this right? Like, is this what I'm supposed to? I'm just kind of acting like I'm vibing with the music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and I think it kind of helps. Like, not there were a lot of guys that weren't very good, like Frank Grillo, Michael Rooker, like those dudes couldn't dance. Are you kidding me? But it
Yeah.
worked. It
Yeah.
worked. It's funny. It's like the awkwardness of like someone that doesn't. It almost like feeds into the fact like, oh, that's Rick Flag right there, and
Right.
or like that's the Eagle Hunter right there. Like
Yeah.
that's not the actor that knows how to dance. That's like the awkwardness of it. It's so genius. It's genius.
It
It
is.
seems unintentional in the moment, and then I watch it back and I'm like, you genius. Like
Yeah.
you're very smart, James.
It is. It
Uh,
is hilarious. That intro. At
That's
first, I was kind of like when I first started watching the season, I was kind of bummed because everybody's so used to the first entrance and
yeah.
choreography. I know
Mhm.
you have to catch up and everything with
Yeah.
Peacemaker, and then when this thing, I was like, oh, then I was like, wait, it's just as addictive as the first
Yeah.
choreography intro, and I'm sitting and finding myself doing this silly
Mhm.
numbers and
Yeah.
everything, and I'm like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
a very catchy song, and
it
it like the
is.
first time I heard it, I was like, okay, and then I heard it for like the 50th time, and I'm just
Mm.
like, Julian, it's
Yeah.
like I'm just like, oh, this is my jam.
Yeah, right, right. Like that's when you
Yeah.
know the song. It's like it's one of those like those Saturday morning cartoons. Oh, I
Yep.
turned the TV on. I'm running straight to the TV to watch
Hmm.
my show. So yeah,
Yeah.
James Gunn is a genius.
He
So yeah,
is.
shout out to
Yeah.
him.
Mhm.
Um,
Yes.
and you did mention Leapfrog too, which was going to lead into my next question.
Yeah.
With Marvel, did they let you keep the suit?
No, no, they didn't
Dang
let
it.
me keep the suit.
Man,
Uh,
yeah.
I took my, like you have a little cast chair with your character's name on it. I took
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Uh,
cool. Cool.
but they are so strict. Marvel is, and
Yeah.
DC, I'm sure. I mean, they're kind of the
Yes.
same thing of like, yeah, you can't bring any of your props. I wish, because they had so many. They probably had like 5 suits uh
Right.
for the same thing. I mean, some of them were like burnt up and stuff to try to like, when I'm
Right.
wearing it. But I would have loved to have taken the suit, or at least just the mask or the helmet or something. But um I think it's over here somewhere. This is what I got. Some dude some dude sent me an action figure
Oh, that's cool.
of the
Aw.
character. So that's kind of my memorabilia,
Yeah.
I don't really have a whole lot of stuff. Like I got some posters I'm probably gonna put up soon in my
Mhm.
apartment. But yeah, no, I didn't get to take anything home. I usually take something from everything I've been in.
Yeah.
Like I was in a show, Will
Mhm.
Trent, and there's a part
Yeah.
where my character's in this like studio, like with some drums and stuff. And
Mhm.
I took the drumsticks just because it meant a lot to me because my character was kind of melting down and was just freaking out and having like this moment. And so every single time we did a take, I would, for some reason, I would just like throw the drumstick somewhere, and there's like little notches in the drumsticks
Mm,
of like each take that we did from it, just like getting chipped or
Mm,
something when I threw it. So it has some like meaning to me of like, oh, each of those knots were like a take that we did that day of in that
mm.
crazy energy.
nice, nice. That's another good
Wow.
show I need to get
Yeah,
back
it's a good
into
one.
binge watch too. So when I saw, I'm like, oh, Will Trent too. Like, yeah, so that's another one I need to binge watch. So yeah,
Yeah,
good.
it's a good show.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
Mm,
You are truly a blessed man, with being able to work with James Gunn and Clint Eastwood and so many other talented artists, such as yourself.
Oh, thank you.
What has been your favorite moment so far in your career?
Hmm. I mean, there's so many. I mean, when you can be validated as an actor, it's always going to feel so good. Like when some name that you've looked up to walks up to you and tells you, "Hey, you're really good. You're going to make it one day."
mm-hmm.
Um, oh, you know what? That's an easy answer. Uh, Charlie Cox. He plays Daredevil. And
Mm,
Mhm.
yeah, so we worked together on that episode of She-Hulk, and
yeah.
we broke for lunch, and we were just kind of standing around like, you know, and he was like, "Hey, you wanna have lunch with me in my trailer? Just kind of, you know, shoot the stuff and just hang out a little bit." And I was like, "Absolutely." You know, in my
Yes.
mind, I'm like, "Of course, yes, let's go."
Yes. yes.
And like he's such a gem because like his wife tried to call him. He was like, "Hey, I'm chatting with an actor right now. Like, let me call you when we're done shooting and stuff." Like he was so cool. And
Yeah.
like we sat there and had lunch in his trailer, and I was just looking around like, man, I'm gonna have one of these one day. And he was like, you will.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I was, and because like we did a scene together, and he could see that like there's just a commitment, you know. I commit 100%, like, and that's something that I think some actors, they run into this block of like, they don't want to look stupid, they don't want to do too much. But I've always just
Mhm.
been, I come from this mindset of like, I'm gonna commit to 100% to whatever's happening in the scene, and they can adjust as they need. And
Mm,
like we kind of talked about that, but the main thing was just the amount of validation he was kind of pouring into me, of telling me like, you know, yes, you have some things you can work on, but my what he said is, my advice to you is don't worry about all that, because you're just gonna figure it out as you keep going, because you're new. I mean, She-Hulk was probably like my third or fourth like real booking as an
right.
actor. And I just remember like telling him, you know, I want to be in your shoes one day. I'm someone who looks up to you, and I want to be in your shoes one day. And he told me, yeah, and I have people that I'm still looking up to. I might be where you think is the top, but like I could be like The Rock. He's making more money than anybody. He's like, The Rock is who he uses as an example of like, you know,
Yeah.
he's the most working actor probably of any of you know, in the past like 5 years or so or more.
Yeah.
And so there was a perspective shift there too for me of like, oh, okay, so it's not like I'm achieving some top of the mountain or trying to achieve getting to the top of the mountain, but it's like the
Mhm.
process of climbing. Like you'll get the thing you
Mhm.
want, and then you're gonna keep looking up and keep climbing up. And for me, I like that. It's like a
Yeah.
video game. You don't want to beat the video game too early, and then you're just like, well, what am I gonna do now? You know?
Right.
So that was a very validating moment, having lunch with Charlie Cox and just a lot of the stuff he was saying. I mean, working with Clint Eastwood, it's hard to top that. He was really
Mm-hmm.
cool. And I remember after our first take, he just walked in. He's like, "Hey, you just do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. You want to throw these chips? Throw these chips. You want to push Paul, the lead, Paul Walter Hauser. He's like, you want to get in his face and push him? Do it. I don't, you know,
yeah.
just do your thing. This is your department. You got it." And I was just like, oh wow, okay. And then like I kind of got in his face and was like pushing him around, and like, you know, he pushed me down onto the thing. And there was this moment of like, oh, that felt good to just like make my own choices, and it still worked. It's like he
Mhm.
believes in the collaborative process. Clint Eastwood believes that each actor is also has this director mind, and they might know their character, excuse me, more than he does.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, and then Peacemaker just was just awesome. I mean, just all the moments that I got with the cast and with James and the whole that whole thing is a moment of itself. The whole Peacemaker, you know,
Yeah.
6 months of shooting that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, and dude, you just brought to my attention, like the people you worked with are kind of like the definition of cool.
Yeah.
How cool you get
Yeah.
with you can't get no cooler than Clint Eastwood. Before all of our time, and
Yeah.
who else like Chris Evans and Emily Blunt. Like they just and Charlie Cox and all of them. Them from Painkillers, I believe it
Paint
is.
hustles. Yeah.
Pain Hustlers. I'm sorry,
No,
Pain
you're fine.
Hustlers, and just the definition of cool, and it just leads into just being with the right people and
Yeah.
getting the great advice from Charlie Cox. But what's some of bad advice that you've gotten that you just like, oh yeah, man, this isn't it, man, that you can laugh at now that you helped you over time.
I'll give you two things. One of them, it's not bad advice, but it was something that someone told to me on my first project that
Hmm.
really lit a fire under my ass. Sorry if I'm
No,
cursing.
no, no, it's
You
Uh,
okay.
can say what you want.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It really was like I did so it's a cool thing for me. A feather in my cap is I can say my very first audition ever. I booked it and then got SAG
Mm,
eligibility off my very first audition. And I was working on this. It was a very, it was indie, but it was under SAG, so it wasn't independent, but it was a lower budget SAG movie, and I think it's on like Amazon I don't even remember what it's on now. And there was an actress, and I'm not
mm,
gonna say her name. Nobody's gonna know who it is. Uh,
mm,
eh, who This was my very first thing, and I was just expressing how awesome this was.
Mhm.
And she looked me in the eyes and was like, I don't see you making it like in the industry, but you could be like a good commercial actor.
wow.
Mm.
And I
Wow.
remembered in that moment, I was like, so so I will run into people that have no idea what they're talking about. You
Mm,
know,
yeah,
I was like, okay,
Mhm.
I can't just take advice from everybody because that was terrible advice. And
right.
honestly,
Yes.
in my opinion, and I think it's kind of obvious, I think she was trying to chop me down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with that, I say, take advice from your peers with a grain of salt, or
Mm,
not with a grain of salt, but just like through a filter of your own
Mhm.
discernment and think, is this person where I want to be? Have they achieved what I want to achieve? Do they even have the ability to tell me advice right now? And that's what I had to
Mhm.
realize. Is like, oh,
yeah.
okay, so this is someone that's insecure. And
Mm,
uh so I guess that's what I should say.
Well,
Don't
yeah.
take advice from insecure actors. Uh
Ah.
in fact, take that as a compliment that this person who has the wrong idea of how you should approach this industry. You shouldn't be competitive and thinking, "Oh, I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I'm better than you." And if you're better than me, I'm going to start chopping you down. Um,
Mhm.
those are typically actors that you don't want to take advice from, anyways, because they are where they will always be, unfortunately. And I say that trying not to sound too rude, but you know what? What
Yeah.
goes around comes around.
Right.
Um,
Mhm.
so that was pretty bad. And then just kind of a blanket bad advice would be I coach a lot of actors now and I help them
Yeah.
with their auditions and stuff. And a lot of times what I run into is they'll be like, well, this is for this network, so I'm going to do it a little differently because I think that this is how this network is always doing it. Or, I'm going to play this scene like a little bit blah, blah, blah because it's on this. And it's like, I think that you should always just play a scene the way you should play the scene. If it's for
Mm,
CBS or NBC or for Hulu or for a stream, like that, in my opinion, I'm like, you don't need to focus on all of that. Like,
yeah.
just focus on the scene and the character, whether it's for a short film or for just a workshop, or if it's really for the real deal and some big network. It's like I think you should just approach every scene the same and not try to add all these layers that you think are going to help your chances of getting the role, because they really, in my honest opinion, I don't think they will. I think if you know who you are as an actor, you should bring that to every audition that you have, and don't ever hold
Mhm.
yourself back because you think some network isn't going to like how big you're playing something. They might want that, especially a guest star. A
Yeah.
guest star, they come in, you kind of want that contrast. You know what I mean? Like you want the crazy guy that's In the
Mm.
procedural, that's usually like, very low tone, very soft, and detective work and stuff like that. And then you have some guy like me, like, hey, what's up, guys? Where's the
Yeah,
Cheetos? Like, it's like
yeah.
it's a good contrast. And I
Mhm.
think I've seen people that I'll be taping their auditions, or I'll be talking to them, and they're like, I don't want to play it that. I think I need to tone it down so that. And I'm like, do you know what a guest star is meant to be? Like
Mm.
Mhm.
a it you have a chance to impact an episode as a guest star, and if you can only do that through understanding who you are as an actor and bringing that to the audition so that they can see what they're working with. So I guess yeah, that's a long answer, but I
No,
just
no, no.
think the advice of trying to change your performance based on what the network is just, and maybe that's bad advice from me. Maybe that is how we're supposed to do it. And I've just
Yeah,
gotten lucky by not following the rules. But I
yeah,
just think there's not as many rules to follow as we anchor ourselves down with.
yeah. No, that was great because
Mhm.
that's actually was gonna lead to our next question with the gems.
Yeah.
I know Tashay was gonna ask that right there.
With the
Yeah, I was just
gyms?
gonna ask, are there any gems or advice that you want to leave for,
Oh yeah.
the audience, any actors or anyone inspiring to do what we do?
I would say try not to compare yourself to other actors and where they are in their journey, because sometimes
Mhm.
you're going to disappoint yourself, and you might get discouraged because
Hmm.
someone else has kind of caught a fish before you,
Mm.
when it's like it's just not it. I think my advice is understand that a no does not mean that you're a bad actor.
Ah,
A no could just be, oh, we didn't want a white guy for this role. You know what I mean? That it
yeah,
could really be that simple. Or
yeah,
Mhm.
age. Maybe my age is the reason, or like a look. It's like,
yeah,
just because you don't book a role, it's like it doesn't mean that you're not a good actor.
yeah.
In fact, they were probably like, damn, this guy's good, but we everyone wants this guy, so we're gonna have to go with the other guy because
Mm.
of how he meshes with the cast and all of that. So there's a lot of things that are just out of your control. And I would say don't let the things that are out of your control affect your psyche, because
Oh,
you don't get,
Mhm.
you don't benefit from that. In
yeah,
fact, I
Yeah.
would I would lean into the positivity of that situation and be like, that's a casting director that just called me in for the third time, and they're probably going to call me in next week for something else. It's like
Mhm.
I'm doing a good job. If you're getting an audition, you're doing a good job.
yeah,
Don't put so much pressure on booking the role. Just have
Mhm.
fun with where you're at now, because auditioning is fun. I really think that auditioning is fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
And that's where the clash can happen sometimes. These actors will come in so stressed, and they're just like, okay, I got to do this thing, blah, blah, blah. And then before you say that line, make sure I turn my head so that I can slowly turn it back to you. I'm like, no, stop. What,
mm.
think about what's really important here, because you
Mm.
and your mind are forcing this audition to get to a place where you can just do a lookup like this. And then
Mm.
so that's 1 second out of an entire like 3 minute audition. And that 1 second is all you cared about, is getting
Yeah.
to that point of doing some kind of a weird look or whatever that you think would be really cool and cinematic and all that.
Yeah,
When really it's like, just show up flexible, because you don't even know what it's going to feel like whenever you're reading across from another actor and doing the scene. You might realize, oh, that doesn't make any sense for me to provide this kind of energy. So
yeah,
Mhm.
some advice would be loose. Don't, sometimes we have this tendency, because I have it too, where we're like, ooh, this is the moment in the audition that I really, really want to punch hard. And
yeah,
then you'll watch it back and you'll realize, oh, that's not really the punch that you thought it would be. It's almost like you're forcing that punch, where the writers probably were just trying to see a nice even keel scene play through, listen to your voice, see your face, see you listen and react. Um, and yeah, I just think you can have the wrong idea of an audition. I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but like,
mm.
you might think that this scene should be played a certain way, but that it also might be played a different way and a different way and a different way. And then you get caught up of thinking like, oh my gosh, there's so many options. Which one is the right one? Which one should I do? And I say to them, and I say to y'all, do your version. Do what is in your heart. Do it, play it how it's in with you. However, it will make you seem like the best actor possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you do a one-liner and still kind of steal the scene? You know what I mean? By just standing
Yeah.
there and just like reacting to what somebody's saying, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and then when you get the callback,
Mhm.
then you got the person right there that knows exactly what they want. And then they're gonna tell you, hey, so you got kind of angry on this part of the scene. I don't really think we want that. Like, let's just play it more even. It's like, cool. My feelings aren't hurt because I didn't do it right. But they knew casting directors are a lot more reasonable and creative than we think.
Yeah.
Like they can see the gist of what we're doing, and also on the other side of that, within 3 seconds they'll know if it's a good actor or not. Because I've talked to casting directors, and sometimes at 3 seconds in, they're like, "No, I'm not even going to waste the next 10 minutes of my
Mm.
time over someone that I already know is not right for this role or isn't a good enough actor." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So it's less about getting the scene completely right and more about just being grounded and real and giving a good performance
Yes, sir.
to
Man.
get you the
Thank you.
callback.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
really going to help a lot of people. And
I hope so. Yeah.
yeah, no, and yeah, don't worry about going on tangents. These are, like I said, these are gems that's going to help a lot of us and us. And
Yeah.
sometimes like you yourself, you say you got to go back and remind yourself. And so yeah, no, thank you, man, for
Because
just
the backbone to a good performance
yeah,
is confidence.
yeah,
And you can't be confident in something when you're still considering the other options. When you're
mhm,
still thinking, did I make the right choice here? When you're thinking that,
mm,
then it's just not going to come out with confidence. But if you
right,
know, if you say this is the choice I'm making and I'm moving on, and this is how it's going to do, and I'm just going to do it, and if it's wrong, they can correct it in the callback. But I
hmm,
mean, like, we're not writers. We're not going to know exactly what the writers want. We're not given the full script. We're given sides
hmm,
to make of it what we can, and just know those casting directors know that too. And
hmm,
your wardrobe, everything. See, this is where I might be really wrong, but like wardrobe for me is like, as long as you kind of get the gist of it. Like, you don't need to have some big doctor coat and stuff to make people think that you're a doctor with a telescope and all this stuff, or
right,
Tesla, whatever they call it. Um, to have them buy into it. I was she works with Chase Paris. It's Felstein Paris Casting, and they do a lot of big projects. And I was at like a little dinner party, and she was there, and one of the casting directors was there, and they were like, "So Brandon, do you have a lab coat or anything like that you like to use in your auditions?" And I looked at her, and I'm like, "No, you know me, like black
oh,
t-shirt. You guys get the
yeah,
gist. Y'all can
there
be
you go,
creative. You could
yeah,
just add that coat with your mind. You know what I mean?"
yeah,
Um. So yeah, it's and do the state. See, I just want to keep giving more nuggets. But if there
this
is something in the script,
yeah,
this is something I get a lot.
yeah,
If in the script, let's say you slap somebody, or
mm,
you're doing some kind of an action in the scene, maybe you're mowing the lawn, or I don't know, something. Do
yeah,
the action. Like, don't just skip over the action or allude to the action. Do the action, because on the day you're not going to have as much what you think. There's still going
mhm,
to be a camera right in your face with a little piece of tape for your eye line, and you're going to have to realize, oh, like, it's kind of like an audition where I have to be creative with this confined space of mine to show what they're asking me to show.
yeah,
And if you can do that in an audition, they're gonna like it, and they're gonna like you. If you don't skip over the most important part of the freaking scene, which is when like you go and clock somebody in the face and like are standing
right,
over them screaming, do it, do it.
yeah, commit to
It's
it,
not, yeah. Don't worry about frame. Like, if the lighting, for the She-Hulk, I did an audition for She-Hulk and I booked it so I got a call back, and then there was some technical difficulties, and so they were just like, screw it, we'll just send him the notes and have him tape it himself with the new notes that we have for him.
yeah,
So I went and did that, and in the tape I was like throwing myself back, and I hit my backdrop, and my backdrop fell on top of me and fell to the side.
oh,
I didn't care. I was like, I like that take. We're gonna
keep
use
doing
that
it,
take. Yeah,
yeah,
they're not gonna be like, oh, his backdrop fell. Nope. No. They're,
yeah,
they'll be like, oh, he kept going. So
yeah,
like, if we have something fall off screen or something, we know, oh, he'll keep going.
yeah.
He's in the moment,
He's
committed,
locked in, committed, man.
locked in. Yeah.
Yeah, I greatly appreciate that, and I'm pretty sure the audience will too. And it's so many nuggets and gems you're giving, and I want us to keep going, but we want to be respectful of your time and everything. But thank you again, and tell everybody where we can follow you at.
So you can follow me on Instagram at Brandon_Stanley. I'm pretty sure. That's pretty much it. That's the only
Yeah,
social media I use. But yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much the only social media I ever plug.
that'll work. That'll
Yes,
work.
thank
And
you. Yes,
I
everyone
appreciate it.
follow him.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, make sure y'all follow him, and thank you again for the nuggets and staying past your time, because I know we just want to make sure you get off. And we, myself, and Shay and the audience, wish you luck in your
Yeah.
audition.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's gonna. Like, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but that's gonna be able to. No, hey, if you want to talk to Brandon, hit him up and get into his
Yeah.
class.